Namaste. Namaste.
You talk about the spiritual path and levels of consciousness. And when I read this, part of me, it conveys an idea of hierarchy, which I have difficulties to come to terms with. And sometimes I observe a form, I probably wrongly, but I see as a form of enlightenment in people who maybe don't know anything about meditation, or even children, but also adults, sometimes the elderly. How do we address this kind of paradox?
Well, I like to explain in a very simple way. Let us say you are watching a movie, and there is a beautiful scenario and a drama there, and there are twists. There is a hero, and there's a villain, and there's a romance, and all kinds of things happen. Many things you will notice. It will come to your awareness that, oh, I like this. Sometimes you will say, oh, I don't like that. Now, when you are tremendously impressed with what you like and what you don't like, it affects your awareness. Awareness becomes very cognizant. You become fully aware of those emotions. Now, let us see if you are romantically start dreaming about an event that maybe I would like to have romance with such and such a person. So what happens then? That particular feeling, those vibrations will settle down in your heart at a particular chakra. And that's what I have mentioned in this book. All kinds of vibrations, giving the feelings, they settle at various chakras depending on their heaviness or lightness. Take another example of, let us say, you are supposed to serve your mother whilst, and unfortunately, she passes on. And then regret starts, the guilt starts in your heart that, oh, I wish I could have told her so many things. I wish I could have apologized. Same thing about your opportunities in life, which you miss out. I could have told her I love you, but I did not. Right? So those feelings are heavier than any other feelings. Those are the heaviest of karmas. And they settle on another chakra. The worries, anxieties, the concerns about family life. How am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay the school expenses for my children? Things like that. Where am I going to get money for the new car? So the worldly related anxieties, they also settle at a particular chakra. When you get upset and angry, that also affects a particular chakra in your heart. When you become so fearful, confused, it affects a very specific chakra. So there is a lot of, once you become very sensitive, you can locate that where the vibrations related to feelings of fear, or the feelings of courage, the clarity that I should have, or the confusion that I'm having now, where they are settling. See, so it's a beautiful science actually. If you go very deep into it with in a very systematic way, you can analyze, you can classify various chakras associated with various feelings, which leads to various levels of consciousness. Because consciousness to me is very, very simple to understand. It means my ability to perceive things, to what extent I can perceive and have the appropriate response. Again, citing an example of a family life, that you are with your spouse and you are having a child who's just entering your bedroom, and suppose you are having an argument with your spouse, would you continue to shout at each other when your little daughter is entering the room? You become aware. Your consciousness has picked it up that my daughter is coming in. Now, this consciousness has to become very responsible. Should I continue at that, or should I immediately withdraw myself from arguments, change my emotions, change my facial expressions, and don't let that little daughter not be affected by this argument? So the appropriate response to the perception of the things we undergo. So consciousness, to me, it's not enough that you feel, but you should be able to appropriately give the measured response. See, often, Nick, many times what happens, you come to know this is right. Meditation tells you, meditation helps you understand that this is wrong, this is right. And despite of knowing what is right and what is wrong, we often fail to follow what is right. And also, we somehow ignore our association with the things which is not conducive for my evolution. So you need more and more clarity and more courage to follow what is right. See? And all this develops through trial and error. So you're not going to become perfect human being overnight. It's a slow and steady evolutionary process.
And you need a certain degree of effort, and maybe human beings are not very happy with effort. Although, on the other hand, we seem to put great effort sometimes in the wrong direction. So it's not that we. So how do we create a balance between the necessity for an effort and also the necessity to sometimes to let go, to abandon oneself to certain levels of reality?
I am a man who believes in action. Effort is always required until, paradoxically speaking, it becomes effortless. Isn't it? In the beginning, when we learn how to ride a bicycle or teach our children how to ride a bicycle, we teach them in the beginning and we get the training wheels, we support them. Eventually, they begin to ride on their own and so masterfully. Take another example, driving a car. When you learn how to drive a car, you don't know where the accelerator is, where the brake is, where the clutch is. You adjust the side windows, rear windows,
And
mirrors,
it becomes automatic.
and it becomes just automatic. You don't know, it just simply happens. So meditation in the beginning can be an effort, but this system, it's so simple. It is even, I would say, simpler than riding a bicycle. What is really required is your interest. Are you really interested in becoming better person? Then it will happen, you see. You have to get up with your nonsense. I mean, you get to get fed up of your nonsense. Are you really fed up enough to change yourself? Then
Sometimes,